Taurus, the full moon on August 12th, 2022. So here are the notes that I took, Taurus. I'm doing things a little differently. But my horoscope predictions are all about you all. It's not about me. So I really want to concentrate and be a true channeler. So it can be helpful. And I feel like it's coming together for me. So Taurus, we start the full moon off with the sun 19 degrees Leo in your 4th house and the moon 24 degrees Aquarius in your 10th house. We have a grand cross involving the north node 17 degrees, Mars 25 degrees, and Uranus 18 degrees in Taurus, your 1st house. Attached to the grand cross, we have the sun at 19 degrees Leo, your 4th house, south node 17 degrees Scorpio, and the moon 24 degrees conjunct Saturn 22 degrees retrograde in Aquarius, your 10th house. So the grand cross is major regarding this full moon in this month of August, because the grand cross, it does consist of all the fixed modalities, which are the succedent houses. And the succedent houses, they represent things that you've built that has taken quite a lot of time, energy, blood, sweat, tears, that you developed, and that has come to a certain level of you could say evolution regarding a certain kind of structure being built. Or another example could be just something that has been just worked on or built or developed, that's taken a lot of, time, energy, patience. It could be a structure, it could be something internal, external. I mean, you name it. So the succedent houses represent this energy where you want it to stand the test of time. However, with the Grand Cross, not so much. It's needing to do a little restructuring, do a little bit of catalyzing here, because we have Uranus involved, the planet, we have the nodes involved, and we also have, Scorpio's energy involved, because it's one of the fixed signs. There's this backdrop or background of somewhat of a eruptive energy that's quite it could be demoralizing, it could be somewhat of a demolition. But I'm just thinking of a way, how can I put it where it's not so devastating sounding. I mean, destruction, destructive. That sounds a bit much, but I mean, it's feeling that way with this Grand Cross and all the fixed energies, with all of these fixed signs. It's like Leo, fake it till you make it. Aquarius, rebellious, you know, breakthrough, innovating, lightning bolt strike. And Leo is the sun. Imagine that big ball of fire, of energy that is wanting to shine at whatever cost. And then we have Taurus, you know, wanting to just hold its ground, stable, does not want to move. And then we have Scorpio, which is Plutonic and Martian energy, eruptive, transformative, catalyzing. So, I mean, these are some high intensity, pressurized, compacting energies that is calling for a complete renovation. We'll just say, not even renovation. It's basically a complete just breakdown, tear down, and getting rid of, clearing out, purification. It's like the Tower and the Death card put together from the tarot, in order to build something and create something entirely different, so to say. So that's how I explain this energy. So moving along, that's the Grand Cross that we're dealing with. And the T-squares are there's far too many to even address here, because, I mean, as you can see, I'm using some really, I mean, this is useful, but I don't know if you can see. But right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different T-squares going on. If you want to slice and break the Grand Cross up into, you know, chunks and pieces and gain further detail, you could. But there's far too many, and that's what the T-squares are all explaining, is just more in detail of this Grand Cross. So then we have the bisextiles here, and there's 3 of them going on this full moon, Taurus, month of August. So we have Black Moon Lilith, 13 degrees Cancer, 3rd house for you. And then we have Mercury, 12 degrees Virgo, the 5th house, and South Node, 17 degrees Scorpio, in your 7th house. So, along with Black Moon, Lilith, and Mercury, we have the North Node, 17 degrees Taurus, your 1st house. And then lastly, another bisextile with Mars, 25 degrees Taurus, 1st house, Neptune, 24 degrees retrograde Pisces, 11th house, and Pluto, 26 degrees retrograde Capricorn, 9th house. So the bisextile is activating your 3rd and 9th house, your 5th and 7th house, and your 1st and 11th house. And the planets involved is Black Moon Lilith, Virgo, Mercury, both the North and South Node, Mars, Pluto, and Neptune. So we'll talk more into that. I'm just giving an oversight of just what's going on generally with this full moon. So next, the evolutionary astrological highlight I have for you, Taurus, is Venus, 0 degrees in Leo. I picked out the planet Venus, and it's in your 4th house, and it's in a crescent phase within the lunation cycle. And the aspect that I chose is Venus at 0 degrees Leo in your 4th house. It's making a semi-square aspect to Mercury 12 degrees Virgo in your 5th house. So this being a yin phase, it's an internalized process in which the soul is needing to create a new sense of what one values. Venus, in order to condition or recondition the mind, Mercury, to gain a sense of practical pleasure, Virgo 5th house, that helps build value towards inner security. 4th house, functioning or operating more from the heart. 5th house, Leo. And Venus so yes, yeah, so Virgo 5th house, which the semi-square is between Venus and Leo, your fourth house, and then next door Mercury in your 5th house of Virgo. The semi-square in the lunation cycle, the crescent phase, it wants to help you build value towards inner security, and how you function or operate more from the heart. And this has to do with the 5th house, Leo, and also the sign of Venus, and also the energy of the 4th house. Okay? So now, this is, we're on to your prediction. So here the full moon is activating your 4th house, the sun in Leo at 19 degrees, and 10th house, moon 24 degrees, conjunct Saturn 22 degrees, retrograde Aquarius. These are angular houses, and the modality is fixed in nature. The sun is putting its flare on the 4th house. Well, the sun is putting its flare on 4th house themes, such as home, family, upbringing, and overall heritage. Moon at 19 degrees conjunct Saturn 22 degrees retrograde is blending its energy within 10th house themes such as work, career, external obligations, out in the world. The full moon is in an opposition, 180-degree aspect with the luminaries, and brings the intention to a head or climax, so the individual can the individual can move on to another lesson or experience, so to say. So then we have Saturn conjunct the moon in Aquarius 10th house, and Saturn with the moon conjunct right here, Saturn being in retrograde, is deconditioning. So the emotions and feelings around inner security, the moon, pertaining to public status that is identified with what you do in the external. The sun in Leo is asking of you to be brave so you can restructure and innovate, Aquarius, your sense of inner security, moon, with career in the external. Also, how you function, moon, is being innovated, Aquarius, and reconstructed, Saturn retrograde, into something more suitable to your own personal/emotional needs, moon. So aside from the full moon, a major aspect is the Grand Cross. So the Grand Cross is occurring in all your angular houses, which are all fixed in modality, meaning a lot of resistance. Within this full moon, the universe is trying to break up a lot of fixity with this Grand Cross, focusing on themes of self, persona, and physical body, 1st house. Karmic connection/affiliations, 7th house, or even shadow work, childhood trauma, because the Sun Leo fourth house is suggesting that self-expression was blocked or dismissed in childhood. And I say this because the Sun opposed Moon, Mars, Saturn retrograde in 10th house, Aquarius, tells me that the individual is deconditioning, Saturn retrograde, suppressed emotions, Moon, and needs to do so in order to liberate and innovate, Aquarius, oneself in the external. So childhood trauma regarding one's self-expression can no longer inhibit the maturing and growing individual. So Saturn represents karma. All in all, this grand cross on the full moon is needing or imposing, catalyzing change on the soul to build up the courage and balls. Mars in the first house conjunct Uranus, conjunct North Node Taurus, to liberate Uranus, oneself, from karmic family ties and also karmic relationships that blocked or suppressed the nature, that blocked or suppressed the native from feeling self-empowered in one's physical body. First house energy. Spiritual identity, Sun Leo fourth house, maturation process, and truly feeling secure and stable. Moon. So the moon and Saturn within what one is capable of building, producing, Saturn in the external environment, 10th house. Saturn retrograde is deconditioning to get rid of what no longer serves within these themes mentioned, so one can start building again or recreating / integrating new wisdom. To say the least about Uranus 18 degrees, conjunct Mars 25 degrees, conjunct North Node 17 degrees, Taurus, your first house, house of self. Uranus and Mars is completely blowing up your persona in order to reinvent one's self so you can head off in a new direction that will lead you to heaven, North Node. There are 3 bisextiles, and the first one is taking place in your 3rd house, community, left brain, basic education, siblings, and short distance travel. The 3rd house is a multifaceted house because it represents so many things, and I'll tell you why. Because Gemini, mutable air, rules or is the natural ruler of the 3rd house energy. Gemini is left side brain and is all about the details of knowledge. So here is an energy where the curiosity in the details is highly emphasized. Black Moon Lilith, 13 degrees Cancer, is here in your 3rd house, trine over to South Node Scorpio, 7th house of shadow or partnerships. And the semi-sextiles coming from Pluto, 12 degrees Virgo, 5th house, is the center energy point that will require a little effort, semi-sextile. Because the thing with bisextiles